Hey, that's kind of catchy. It kind of grows on you after a minute. Hey, I took your banner down. Did you want that banner up now?
No, we can.
Okay. I took it down. So that's probably a bunch of people noticed it, but if they didn't, we'll keep it secret. We'll keep it secret for a few minutes anyway. What's up, guys? How is it? How's it going for everybody? Glad y'all could join us tonight. I managed to hobble my way out to the shop, so I'm going to make it here. Oh, yeah, a couple of them already saw it, but he misspelled it. So you might want to redo that one, Lance. But I'll let Steve explain all that to you guys. But if you missed it, we did play around again last night. But what we were basically trying to do is test the software and everything because we had to convert everything over to the new software, and there was a lot of in-house like housekeeping stuff that we had to get done, understand how to work it, get everything set up. You'll notice we have this cool little like box that our faces are in now, and with the colors and all that. So we've been playing around trying to fancy it up a little bit and allow us to use the giveaway tool. And I won't go into that, but I'll let Steve kind of explain to you guys what to be looking for in the future. Since a lot of this right now, he's kind of quarterbacking this stuff. So, Steve, what we got going on?
So one of the reasons we switched software is we wanted to be able to give more back, and there's a lot of tools to do that if you're streaming to one location. But since we're streaming to multiple channels, and Facebook and even X and Twitch and such, there's only a couple ways to pull in those and do a live giveaway. So that's part of why we did this switch. And we're going to be doing a little bit testing because we've got some stuff coming up. We've got our 100th episode coming up the first Sunday in November. And then we're hoping to do another Christmas thing as well, where we want to be doing some nice giveaways there. So we wanted to test it out before we got there because those are going to be some bigger things. We don't want those to screw up. And so we are going to be doing some giveaways. And so we played around with it last night. Just gave kind of an honorary, what was it, a grand marshal from the
Grand Marshal.
But tonight we're going to do another one with kind of more of the audience. And what I've got going on for you is just a few simple things. Just a small swag pack. So we've got a Vintari's Workshop can koozie. We've got a sticker set. You get one of mine, and I made a couple of the Clack Shack ones on the X-Tool M1 Ultra today. And then we're going to go ahead and send along a challenge coin that has both the Clack Shack as well as Vintari's Workshop. So when you want to figure out who's right, you can flip a coin. And so we're going to send this out and use it as a way of testing out the tools. So let me get it kicked off. What you need to do is you need to enter in hashtag free swag, and the tool will start collecting all the entries, and then later in the stream we will draw for that giveaway. And I'm not restricting this to anywhere. I will ship it to our friends in Australia or Europe.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be too terrible. So go ahead and drop that in there. And then, like I said, a little bit later, we'll go ahead and draw a winner, and we'll get that sent off. And like I say, this is kind of just ramping up testing this tool, making sure we're able to use it right. And so when we've got the bigger prizes, everything goes smooth and people don't feel bad like we screwed it up when we do it. We'd rather screw it up on something small than something more important.
Yeah, make sure you spell it right though, guys, because I see a couple of you throwed it up there, and it's the hashtag free swag, which that's kind of a mouthful. Steve come up with that one, but yeah, Tim, what we've got going on is I've got my local guy that does my stickers and stuff. Me and Steve had this conversation earlier. I'm fixing to re-up on because I've got my little small ones that I put on everything, and I literally put them on everything. And I've got a few Vintage Workshop stickers that I reclaimed that I found stuck all over my shop. So I've got like plenty of mine. I buy mine like 1,000 at a time. So I've got plenty of those. But what I'm going to do, the guy that does these for me, me and Steve discussed it earlier. He's going to send me a good copy of his graphic. And next time I order stickers, or actually probably next week or this week, I'm going to talk to my buddy Tim and get him to do. I want me some 3-inch stickers because those are like 1.25 inches. Those are cool for like putting on a, just stick it on your machine somewhere or something like that. But I want me some like 3-inch stickers as well as the small ones like this. And so I'm going to get them to do Steve and I both some. And then I'm just going to keep some of Steve's, put some of mine with Steve's and ship them up to him. So we're going to be doing that probably next week if I can get my buddy Tim up to it. So
does look like we're collecting entries. We got about 49 going right now, so we're gonna let that run for a little bit. Maybe part way through or so, we'll pull it.
We say hour in.
Yeah, we'll do it in the second half. So keep them coming. We'll keep a tabs on that, and we'll see how this works. So.
Yeah, but that's the goal is to eventually where Steve, if he sends something out from his place, he can throw both in there as well as me. Matter of fact, the last laser I gave away, the Asmer, was it S1 P1S Pro or whatever? There was actually a Vintage Workshop sticker in there, Clack Shack T-shirt. I don't remember what all I put in there. A couple of like my little test birds of my logo and stuff. I just threw some random stuff in the box with the laser when I put it back together. So that's the kind of stuff that we want to get it more into. So like we've gotten away from taking a lot of machines, but if we can get all the logistics and everything worked out, we're going to start basically taking stuff and then just reboxing it, pumping it back out to you guys. So that because we can, I have fulfilled everybody that I know that needs one that's a local maker or whatever. They've got what they need. It's like me and Steve were talking. I mean, our friends are well took care of. Our local makers that live like down the street are well took care of. So now that we've got that off, got that handled, we're going to broaden it out and, see how it goes as far as like all you guys try to get some of that stuff to go.
Yeah. So it should work from any of the streams you put in the chat, and it should come back into this software and should get you entered. So
yeah, it's the software is working. Basically, it is integrated all. I think we're running like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 outlets right now. We got mine and Steve's YouTube channels, mine and Steve's Facebook channels, my Twitch, and my X also. So between me and him, I mean, we're sending out like right now just to 6 different locations. But anybody at any one of those comments that free swag, hashtag free swag in the comments of that, whatever site it is, it'll show up and you'll see it when it does the drawing. Of course, the majority of the people are going to be from YouTube. So there's a really good chance that it's going to be a YouTube viewer. But it does. I played around with it last night during that little live we did. I rolled it like 6 or 7 times just to see how it did. And it was pulling up people from Facebook, from, my Facebook, Steve's Facebook. It pulls them from everywhere. The only thing that we haven't got that we had before, and we kind of miss it, is we can't put all of the chat on the screen like we were. And if we can, we ain't figured it out yet. So that's, but I mean, for the most part, you guys, if you comment, we can throw it up on the screen and get it to where everybody can see it and discuss your comment or whatever. It's just that back and forth. If you guys are on separate platforms, you're not necessarily going to see each other's comments on the live chat there. And I even sent an email to StreamYard and I'm like, guys, come on now. Because, this set me back $800 and something for a year's worth. So you would think they would at least have that feature. I mean, Restream had it for much, much less revenue. So, but we'll see. Well, maybe they'll add it. Maybe they won't. Maybe we'll get used to it. So, But yeah, it was $1,025, I think it was, with a $250 deduction for paying 1 year in advance. So
Yeah, streaming's gotten popular, so the companies like to make their money now.
yeah. What's up, Rick? How are you there, sir? I don't know if that little heart with the cross in the middle of it's for you, Steve, or what, but there you go. Elaine, if you missed us last night, I'll give y'all an update. They repaired the tendon in my leg. Basically, what happened was like the tendon that connects your thigh or the big muscle in your thigh to your kneecap. I ripped mine like 60% free. So it was hanging on, but not real well. And that's why my leg had been like hurting me, and I couldn't use it for like the past 6 weeks prior to having surgery. But I went and talked to the doctor a couple weeks ago, and he's like, it's not going to fix itself. We're going to have to go in and fix it. So that's what I did last Friday. And so I'm almost a little over a week now. I'm like a week or 9 days from surgery. They reattached it, put it back together, but I'm in this really cool leg immobilizer thing to where I can't bend my leg, or I can't put any weight on that leg. So I got a whole bunch of restrictions, which is really crimping my style. So that's why I've been doing 3D printing, file design, and stuff like that. I've actually got one thing that I'm going to be working on hopefully this week, if it gets here, is I've got me an Xbox controller coming, and I'm fixing to, because I've been doing the research, and I can map myself an Xbox controller to do all the jog functions on the Shipoko, so that when I'm lining it up to, set my zero, I can literally use the controller to get it where I need it to be, and then program a button to where I can hit that button and it'll do the zero and all that. I know I can do some of it, but I think I can do all of it. So I'm going to be working on that. That's something I can actually get in my chair and just roll over there and do, and not have to be toting materials or anything like that. So that's one of my projects I got left on the board.
Cool.
I'm not saying there ain't going to be, but it probably ain't going to be visible. I need to make me a wooden. I need to 3D print myself like a sleeve that you screw it together on the bottle, camouflage it. That's what I need.
Well. Oh, sorry.
It was just somebody calling you a hillbilly.
Sixth grader just bought an Atomstack X40 Max. Any info what to expect?
X40 Max. Oh, that's yeah.
That's
that's
the white
good
one.
machine. Good machine. Very forgiving beam. It's not going to have to take that cover off of it, which I do. You don't have to if you don't want. But it's one of the better. It's like, as far as the forgiveness, if you have warped material, you don't have to worry about it hitting the material as much, because the focal distance is so much that you can stand to have 3 or 4 millimeter changes without having to worry about it hitting it. Homing speed is a little slow. You may want to go in and modify those on the controller if you feel comfortable doing so. If you don't, just leave it alone. Just know that when you first power it up, go ahead and home it, because if it's at the other end of the work area, with the factory defaults, it takes a while to get all the way back up to the homing position. I know I changed mine, and didn't you? You went in the chat and modified yours too, didn't you?
Oh yeah, yep.
So you have to modify the homing fast speeds as well as the homing slow speeds to get it better. And I basically went in and just doubled them, and it still probably could go faster. But it works. I mean, it's still not fast at homing, but it works.
Yeah.
Other than that, I love mine. It's sitting over there right now.
Yeah, it's got
it's asleep right now.
It's got the newer style air assist tone on it, so it's kind of a narrow type of deal. So I think it's got the smaller cover lenses. Correct?
Yes, slightly smaller. That's the ones that you're supposed to be sending me some to beta test.
Yeah, I gotta get those in the mail yet. Sorry. So it's nice that it's got some of the newer technology from Atomstack. I think the module still is a little bit loud when the fan's running, but you get it in an enclosure like Clack's got there, and It's a beast. It's nice and wide. You can get. I made there's a video I did recently that a pretty big wide sign, pretty hefty chunk of cedar that I did on a live edge slab. So very happy with it. Just need to finish up my large enclosure for it, so I can use it a little more dedicated. But
yeah, here goes my homing speed now. This is after I modified it now. And I'm getting accurate homes because anytime I change the homing speeds on a machine, I go back and basically I'll home it, and then I'll create something in the work area, and I'll send the machine out, and let's say I'll send the machine out to frame it, and then I'll burn that, and then I'll rehome it, and then over and over to make sure that it's consistent, so that every time you home it, send it back out, it goes to the same spot. And I'm just framing. I'm not actually burning. But yeah, I love mine. I use it. It's my workhorse as far as my stove covers and stuff goes. And because I've got the drop bed in there with the, I've got 12 inches of Z depth on the honeycomb. I use it for a lot of the taller stuff that I do. So, and this thing right here has paid for any money spent on these names and stuff that I do for like the other day, I did that one. It was a $75 job, but part of it was done on this machine. So, matter of fact, yeah, I don't have a picture of it. But anyway, let me turn this off. It's a little noisy. Yeah, I love mine. So, if that's any
Did you bring that up in your video review? Do you remember talking about changing those settings?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think I may have actually did a live on how to change it, but that may be something I need to go back and revisit and do like a little short, how to video. That might actually be it. Because that was the only, when I first got it, me and Steve both were like, oh my gosh, because you literally would have to hit home and just sit here. You could like go fix a cup of coffee and come back and it would still be homing. Like I sent Atomstack an email. I'm like, hey, machine works great, but y'all way lowballed the homing settings on this machine, because me and Steve both discussed it. We're like, we don't want to go too fast, because if you go too fast, there is a chance that you could, cause it to slam when it homes and it not be consistent. So you want to find that sweet spot where it moves fast enough to be functional, but slow enough to be consistent. Because if not, you could damage limit switches, or just have it bounce, because it when it homes, it'll slam and bounce off. So you have to kind of find a happy medium for that. Mm-hmm. But well, matter of fact, hang on, let me power it back up. Hang on. All right, since you're in here and you want to know, I'll let Steve work the comment section for a second, and I will swap y'all over to my screen here, and we can look at it. Matter of fact, let me use this little fancy screen sharing tool that we got over here. Hang on, let me do it this way.
Easier to see that way.
Yeah, it makes the screen a lot bigger. Wait a minute. Entire screen. Top screen. Share. There we go. We'll do it that way. All right, you're going to hide that comment. All right, so the way you go about it is you're going to need to go to Edit, Device Settings. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Machine Settings. What am I thinking? Machine Settings. And I'm going to move this to the top of the screen. Before you do anything, I repeat, before you do anything in here whatsoever, even if you're experienced, you're confident, you won't screw nothing up, do not skip this step. Go down here to the bottom and hit Save to File. All right. Name it. Like I'm going to name this one X40, and I'm just going to put the date, which is something I like to use, which is 10/6 of 2024. All right. I'm going to go over here. I have a directory on my machine drives where I've got all my machine files. So I can go over here, and these are all the machines that I've ever had in the shop. And see, X40. If you look, there's one that I've already done. That's the X40 controller settings from back in June. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this as machine settings. What you're doing is now I have a backup copy of this in case I screw this up or something goes wrong with my machine. I'm not in here just throwing stuff at the wall trying to figure out what I messed up. So once you do that, then you're good. Then you can go in here, and this is going to be your slow, and this is your fast. I wouldn't mess with the debounce, and I wouldn't mess with the pull off. If you do anything with the pull off, you could set it to 2 millimeters, but I definitely would not go any closer because they usually set that to what works best for particular limit switches. But this two right here, it's going to be $24 and $25. Those are your homing rates. So I'll just go ahead and we'll change this one to. So I've got that one. We'll change it to 100, and I'm gonna change this to like 2,000. And I'm gonna really mess this up. All right, so I'm gonna tell it to write the settings, right? All right. So now the machine, and I'll put my camera up where you can see. So now the machine, the homing settings have been changed. I'm gonna navigate. Well, let me home it first. Okay, it's already home. So I'm going to navigate the machine to the other side of the workspace and then show you guys what a difference it makes. Those settings right there. It's going to be one of those waiting on a laser type situations. So now when I home the machine, that's how fast it goes. And I think that's actually faster than it was from the factory. Matter of fact, I could load the stock settings because I always save the stock settings before I go to messing with one of them. So you see how long that took to home? That's a little ridiculous. So you go to edit, go to machine settings. All right. And I'm going to load from a file. Here's the stock settings. So I'll go ahead and load the stock settings and show you guys what they were set to. Okay. So it was set to 200 and 2,000. So go back, load from file, and go back to the settings that we just saved. Hit open, 600 and 6,000. So that's back to where it was. And then you can hit the little right button down here, or you can just hit OK, and it's going to ask you to write either way. But now I have changed the homing speed. So when I send it out there, which I could change my move speed a little bit, I've only got it set to 100. So now when I send it out there and I hit the home button, a lot faster homing speed. And you can go faster, but like I said, I played with mine, tried to find what was consistent. That's what I went with. But see, now if I navigate, I move if you don't know this is where you change the moving speed for your navigation or for your framing. So I'm going to change the moving speed, and I'm going to navigate out there again. So there you go. But yeah, that's the biggest complaint that I have with the machine right out of the box. But like I said, it's not that difficult to fix. So there you go.
So the question is, are those settings on all machines, not just Atomstack? Yes, with an asterisk.
If you can access them.
Most GRBL ones will allow you to do this, but some of them, such as Xtool, they lock them down, and you can only make edits to what they allow you to edit through their software, XCS. So it'll work on a lot of them, but not all of them. But like always save that file first. So you have you never know when you change something, you forget what you did. It's good to have that baseline file. Yeah,
because like I said, and sometimes you may not have actually screwed up anything, but you'll think you did. And I know for a fact, I've got a buddy that lives out of state that has had machines before, and he's like, I'm not sure if I did anything or not, but can you send me your controller settings? It's been a long time ago, but it did happen one time. And we wound up getting it worked out. But yeah, you just never know. I've had a lot of people, like followers of the channel or whatever, be like, hey, I didn't listen to you. I tried to mess with my machine. I changed some settings in my controller. I'm not sure what I've done, but now I can't get it to, every time I try to move it, it wants to slam against the wall, which is generally an invert button got checked somewhere. But if you look, these are all machine files. Like I got, like config files, stock settings for every machine. I back up every machine that I get before I go to messing around with them. That way I've got like stock settings here. And then if I extend one, because you have to make changes if you extend them, I back up everything, because they ain't nothing worse than getting in there messing around and you just accidentally a little cross-eyed, or maybe your eyes ain't what they used to be, and you click something and it just quits working. Because I've spent hours out here in the shop trying to fix things that I messed up, and it ain't fun, because you just have to go through their whack-a-mole trying to figure out exactly what you did. Brian wants to know if you are you doing the MC for tonight?
Yeah.
Like we did last night. The why is that word? I don't know why I just can't never remember that. I mean, I guess we could be tonight's Grand Marshal. Oh, that's fine. It's Grand Marshal, not MC.
No, Brian, but while we were playing around with the software, I did add one sound effect.
It sounds like it's got water running in the background.
Well, it's kind of elevated. It's a very bad recording of it, but
I've got one of those for you.
That's not right. That's not right. It's not right. Anyway. But I was just going to look up. Deanna's asking about video to change the settings. I'm trying to make your sled, and the wood is 5mm. So I'm guessing you're asking about adjusting the slot and tabs for material thickness.
Yeah, that file's only got four spots, so it's an easy one to fix if you want me to demo it.
Sure.
Go ahead. Go over what you were saying.
I don't have a specific video on that. There are some nuances to it depending on the item, because Lightburn, when you adjust a slot like in the center of material, it goes both sides in and out, which can actually change the dimensions of your parts. So sometimes you have to kind of manually make those adjustments so it just extends like the outer side and not both. But you got something you want to demo there?
Yeah, I was gonna I don't know what that's about. Some weird. I ain't never seen that before. But yeah, I can show it. Hang on, let me turn this back on. All right, so like on that particular file, it's just an easy one to fix, because what you've got is the tabs where these little pieces go in there. Like, it's just, why is it? What have they done? Oh, why it's not? Okay, something is up. There it goes, finally. All right, so with these, you're just going to want to go in here and ungroup these little squares. Try not to move none of them at all. And once you get them ungrouped, if you click on them, you'll notice that up here in the size, they're 10mm width by 4.5. The easy way, with it only being 4 of them. Now, if there were 300, this would not be the easy way. But with them being 4 of them, if you're not familiar with the tool, the easiest way is just to unlock the aspect ratio right here. And then you can change this to 3mm and then hit enter, and it'll resize it. And just go to the next one. Do the same thing. Click it. Make sure it's unlocked. Change it to 3mm. Hit enter. That is the easiest way. You click it. Unlocked, 3mm. If you only have 4 or 5 or, even 10, if you're, just don't want to use the tool, this is the easy way of doing it. But using the tool wise, what you're going to want to do is go over here to, give me just a second. It's been a minute. It should be in here. Hang on. I got to find it. I don't ever use these tools much. Let me go right here. Select that. Tools. Resize slots. Now, up here, you're going to have to go in. Old material thickness, you're going to want to set that at 4.5mm. The new, or actually, we're going to set this to 3 because I just changed all of them. And we'll change them back to 4.5. So, and then I'm going to change them to 4.5 millimeters. All right. Because these are exact, and I know they are, I'm going to leave the tolerance just set to default. And this is going to be like, let's see the slot depth. Slot width is what you're going to want to select. And if you look, it's basically, if I go to slot, let's see, where's it at? Tab height. It's looking, it should be looking for those tabs right there, but it ain't recognizing them because those are still 4.5. I forgot about that. Yeah, you'd have to change those too. We'll do that in a second. So what I'm changing right here is the slot width, and you'll see it selects those. And so if I hit OK, now when you click on one of them, it's 4.5 millimeters. It just changed it for you automatically. So you don't have to go through it. Now, on the same token, if I was changing these legs, because this little tab that sticks out actually has to be the length of the material. So on the same token, you're going to need to come over here, resize slots, but instead of slots, you're going to do tabs. And old material thickness, you're going to set to 4.5 because that's what the material was designed for. New material, set it for 3 and hit that. And it's going to, you should see these little guys right here pop up. And then it just changed that. So now that tab right there, if you go to the ruler, this little tab right here should be 3 millimeters now. So there you go. But yeah. So it's pretty simple, but it can be a little, why in the world is my mouth being weird tonight? It's not wanting to release my measurements. I had to hit the escape button to get that mouse to quit trying to measure. All right, so same thing. If I want to go back to 4.5 with these before I save the file, go to Tools, Resize Slots, Old Material, I'm going to change it to 3. New Material, I'm going to change it to 4.5. When I go over here and I click Tab Height, watch what happens to those tabs. You see it selects them, it's showing that's going to change those. Hit OK, and now these are back to 4.5. So that's the gist of it right there. That's how you go about doing that. But like I said, with files that only have like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it's not that big a deal. But now if you're doing a box or you're doing one of those complex files, like sometimes me and Steve will release a complex file where it's got several height sensitive tabs, then you're going to want to select it and use that tool. But the tool, now you got to make sure that the measurement that you put in is correct. And if anywhere in those little tabs, if there's one that, let's say it's 4.8 millimeters and you put 4.5 as your old height, if your tolerances aren't good enough, strong enough, it's going to overlook that one. So you kind of need to go back through there and just visually check and make sure it got all of them. But it's pretty accurate as long as the slots and tabs are consistent. And you can't always up the tolerances as long as there's no other little lines in there that are, close to that. That's it. Any more comments, questions? I'm going to let you have the next one. Good to see you both making it to the big time. What we do? What did we do? Big time.
No.
Did you make it to the big time?
If I did, I missed it.
Oh, I'm way up in the comments. Good night. All right. I'm going through the thing. Yeah, Rick, we've about got it figured out. It took us. We played around with it last night for about 3 or 4 hours privately, and then in a live that we accidentally started. So we about got it figured out. Well, hello, Bob. Well, since you say it's been a long time watching you hadn't chatted, I thought I would make a spectacle out of it. So you'd be sure to chat some more.
Been called out.
Yeah, it looks like a bunch of free swag stuff in there. Oh, Mr. GLP.
Yeah, we're up to 85 entries. So if you haven't gotten in on that, we are giving away. We're testing the giveaway tool. We're giving away some swag. We got a can koozie, some stickers, and a challenge coin. So,
yep, and that keyword is down below.
Yep.
Down there on the little banner. That's the keyword for the giveaway. Oh, and for those of you that were asking last night, I got the text back from my folks over at This and That Vinyl, and they now have up to 5X capabilities on my merch shop. So we got that addressed last night. It is good to go. So if you go into, let me see. Where is my merch shop on his lives? Have I not been putting it in the lives? Golly. But if you go into the if you go into the store, you should be able to, and I'm going to go check it to make sure, but I gotta go find the link. I gotta start adding that to my stuff. I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna add the link to the live because somebody forgot to do that. That way it'll be in there. I don't know how in the world it's not, or if it is, I'm missing it. So I'm gonna drop this right there and save it. Okay. Next time we do this, if I cut and paste like I normally do, now it'll be in the cut and paste. So should be good. All right. So yeah, now we got them on here. There we go. So if you want to get the orange one, she said they added them. I'm guessing they already have. Maybe she said they were going to. Let me check. No, I think she said, okay, maybe she said they're going to add them. But anyway, there's a link in the description. So as soon as they update, I'm guessing maybe there's still an update that they have to do to their website. And my computer.
So you'll follow up with that and let people know.
I'll get back with you. But, have to get back with you on that, but they are coming. So if you're interested, just check in every now and then. And if you see them in there, you're going to order them. But they did tell me they're going to put the 5X, up to 5X in there. Now, there may be a slight upcharge for you bigger guys because it's more material. And us in the business of making things, understand that.
Burncarve Prince asking about replacement air purifier filters for the X12 F1 desktop. Unfortunately, no. That's a smaller size than some of the others. So other than getting them from X12, I haven't looked too deep for that one. Now, I have noticed that on the X-Tool, the normal size air purifier, they're pretty standard. So you can actually get the ones from We Create. Sometimes you can get different parts and pieces of theirs, and they are the direct same fit. And so some of them are kind of cross-compatible a bit. But, you know, the top filter is the one that gets clogged up the most. That is something you can kind of rinse out, dust out a little bit, get a few extra uses out of it. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and kind of rinse it out, let it dry really well, and that'll help put some life back into that particulate filter, that top layer one. But other than that, yeah, no, unfortunately, that's the downfall of those, is that the filters get clogged up pretty quickly, and they're a little spendy to replace.
Yep. Appreciate you, Mark. We don't ask, but we appreciate it. Try to get caught up.
Norbert's asking, are there any holiday project challenges this month? We haven't gotten organized enough to try to do one yet, but
get rid of these.
Well, okay. But if you're looking for something over on Ryan's channel, and I got to find it out, but he does, Dave Gatton for a number of years has sponsored a Christmas challenge, and it's for anything made basically with a robotic machine. So CNC, laser, 3D printer. And so they're running a challenge there where, make your holiday themed project and submit it. They're asking to maybe make a video with it as well, but they're also challenging people, just make a Christmas ornament and enter. And they're going to have some giveaways. Cody's already on board. He's going to be offering up some CNC bits and such. So It's Ryan Ballard Designs. I'll try to see if I can find that link again. But they're doing one. They've done one for a few years, and it's kind of fun. So maybe in the future we'll get organized enough and put together a little challenge for all the viewers to kind of come up with your own creation, and we can do our subjective judging on them and try to pull together some prizes. But yeah, that's the one I know of right now.
Yeah. The scroll kept playing over your. Yeah. We saw that a while ago, Chris. I thought if I turned it off, but it was too late. We were in here playing with it and left it running, but no big deal. Valley Forge. I'm gonna be honest with you. It depends. The new. The Atomstack's doing a lot better job on leather than what I've got out of other machines, but I think it's got to do with the way the air assist works with it, as well as the standoff from the nozzle. But with leather, my biggest thing is either mask it and then clean it with some compressed air before you touch it. Those are my best advice for leather, and it's. Leather is a roll of the dice. It's almost as elusive as bamboo when it comes to finding the right settings for every batch, because it never fails. You have to adjust just a little bit to get the best results. I will tell you that a lot of times too, don't forget to play with focus, because focus can also focus can be the determining factor between it burning and it just obliterating the material. So you may find that if you're getting a lot of char, it could be related to the fact that you're not quite in focus as much as maybe you need to be. Or maybe you need to come out of focus a little bit sometimes. But typically with a leather, I find that it's because the leather tends to bow up. And so it's actually out of focus a little bit. So you have to, a lot of times, accommodate for that little bit of, raise, especially if you're using real leather that doesn't lay flat. But yeah. Fiber two. That would be an anomaly, Dennis. I haven't ever had one. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing one if they did put a 1064 nanometers in a tube. That would be kind of cool, and made it into like a CO2 light machine. But I haven't had one.
Wonder if you meant RF tube, the metal RF tubes instead of the glass CO2, because that's been coming up on some lasers. It's a different type of generation. You can't compare them apples to apples, because a lower wattage RF will, like a 35-ish watt RF tube is going to be similar to like a 55 to 60 watt CO2 glass tube laser. They have a longer lifespan, and they tend to be able to run them faster. So there are some benefits to them. They are more expensive. So like a 60 watt CO2 tube laser, when you go to replace that, it might be $400 or $500, give or take, depending on brand and other things. Whereas the RF module is going to be a couple grand. Some of the older ones, you used to be able to get them recharged. But they're air cooled. They don't require water. So they're a little less complex there. But
yeah, I actually haven't got to run one of those. The Thunderbolt that my buddy Tim has at the trophy shop. I've got to play with it. And for a 30 watt CO2, it's pretty amazing what that thing's capable of. And the speed is unreal. Like when you're recording it with an iPhone, it's like trying to record the rotors on a helicopter when you're engraving. Like it's fast. It's so fast that it makes the video can't keep up. The frame rate is like distorted. Even my eyes could not stay focused on it with it doing engrave on some of that like anodized material the other day that we were doing, because it was running just crazy speeds. Like 500 millimeters a second on that thing is just warming up. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. Just trying to see if I had some leather out here to drop in the CO2.
I've got some. I don't know if I need to be climbing up there to get it though. I may have.
Yeah, I think I just moved mine downstairs because I was going to work with that blade cutter tool on the M1 Ultra. So
Yeah,
it'd be more of a jog.
I can't get to that right now. I'm on crutches, and it's all the way up at the ceiling over there on my shelf.
But you know, one thing I am curious about trying, since it's kind of the right time of the year for it, is get some leaves.
Uh-oh.
You got to catch them before they're crispy. So these are kind of fresh off the tree. There's still a little bit of moisture in them, and might throw them into the laser and see what I can do with some of them. But yeah, the leaves are changing rapidly up here. So,
well,
got a small window to do that.
It's going to be a little while for the leaves change here.
Yeah, well, latitude.
Not up there in southern Canada.
Hey, there's parts of southern Canada that are south of me.
Exactly.
But here's a question for you. Which would you recommend, the Hurricane or the Bolt?
I'm going to be honest with you. Price-wise, if you can afford the Bolt, go for the Bolt. If you want to drop $6,000 on one, go all day. I like Atomstack, and they're a good, affordable machine for hobbyists. But the Bolt and this machine's workspace are very close. Like the Bolt is basically the same work area as P2 and some of the other ones, but it's a whole different animal. Now, I will tell you this. The way that it works with Lightburn, and it may be able to set up different, but we just left it set to where you send the file to it and then hit the start button on the front of it, because they batch out things a lot of times, and it's easier to batch it without having to walk back over to the computer. I think on that one, you can actually set it to where it'll, you can send it and start it from Lightburn, but they were more used to operating, just hitting the button on top to start it. So I left it that way. But yeah, if you can afford the Thunder and you want to spend the money on it, now the Thunder is definitely a better machine because it's got the bed that goes up and down for the Z-axis. So if you've got something that's 5 or 6 inches thick, you can actually do it on the Thunder without having to have the riser and everything. Because that's the problem with, like, say, the X-Tool P2 is unless you have a riser, you can't do anything thick. And then once you get the riser, instead of being able to just set your item in there and hit a button and have it, go up and down until it gets to where it needs to be, you've got to take the tray out and move the honeycomb up and down. So, of course, the Thunder is in a whole different category than those machines, in my opinion, because of the fact that it has the mechanical bed that goes up and down. And it's not really, really deep, but it goes down a good bit. And the area inside the chassis of the machine is bigger. I think it's actually bigger than the area inside the Hurricane. It's way bigger than the area inside the P2. But somebody was asking about my little crutch box that I made. I've got me a set of orange ones in there printing now. So cool. I'm going to donate these to the rehab place.
Yeah, there was someone had asked earlier if I had been printing on my A1 recently, and I have done some random stuff. Actually, I should have brought it out. I printed off this little miniature safety cone just for kind of kicks and grins and such, but I've been working on a few things for that. But nothing crazy to share out just yet. So,
see, here's one set. This is a set of blacks that I've already done, and I got this other set of blacks that I've got on my crutches. These are the ones that I forgot to add the bevel to the corner, so I had to bring them out here and hit them with some sandpaper because they had like sharp edges. It's amazing how sharp of an edge you can make with PLA on a 3D printer, but it's pretty sharp. So I brought these out here and sanded the edges down, and carried them in my Clack Shack man purse. That's what the lady at the hospital called it the other day. But when you're on crutches, you can't carry things, so you have to wear it's a sling bag, actually, but she called it a man purse. But it's got this cool Clack Shack logo on it. Sure. Woo. But yeah, that'd be my thing. If you can afford to bolt, I have. Whoa, I have nothing. Oh, you changed your camera. I have nothing bad to say about the bolt. I've ran it up at my buddy's shop up there. I helped him decide on which machine to buy for his business, and it was a lot more expensive than some of the other CO2s. But by the time you figure you don't have to have the riser and all that, and now I will say this: for an expensive machine, I'm not a fan of the rotary. I wish he'd have got a chuck instead of that roller. I do not like the rotary that comes with that Thunderbolt that he got. It's built really nice. It looks like part of a race car, but I prefer chucks. That's just me.
All right, so I'm
What's up,
curious.
Cody? What you got?
I'm curious. I'm gonna try this on the. I've got it in the P2, and so I've got the settings. I've got the speed cranked up highest I can go, 600 millimeters a second, and I'm just gonna play with the power at like, I don't know, 15.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll give this a shot.
You fix it and start a fire. You got your water bottle handy, don't you?
Well, of course.
Okay, make sure. You know, having a water bottle, like an old spray bottle with water in it around the shop is pretty cool. It's good for putting out, experiments in the lasers. And it's also good for, popping the grain on something when you're trying to get it really slick. You can use it. So it's multi use tool. You glue that thing down?
No.
Oh, this may be interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have the air assist running?
I've got the air assist turned down to 10%.
Okay. I was fixing to say, you run much air assist, it's going to look like a fall day inside there.
But let's make sure I got some air exhaust too. Anyway, just a fun experiment here. Hopefully this isn't too loud.
You can hear it.
It is doing something. But just a little fun. I suppose I could also try it on the I don't know, what the IR do anything on this, on the F1 or the fiber?
Not likely, because that's going to be all organic material, unless you sprayed it with like some lacquer or something. Now, I have found that you can spray stuff with like polyacrylic or polyurethane or something like that and actually interact with it. Or if you put like oils or something in the wood, but straight up wood with nothing on it. There it went. Laser caught it. Yeah. That's that whole, when I complain about the beam size and how close these machines have to get to stuff, that's why, right there. There's nothing more annoying than having your material get grabbed by the laser head. And that P2, that's one thing I do like about the Hurricane better than the P2. That P2, it's not very forgiving on elevation. You were actually doing a pretty good job before you got caught.
Maybe I should tape it down.
Make you a little roly-poly. Little tape roly-poly thing. Put on the back of it. Or some painter's tape. Painter's tape on both sides would work. While you work on that, I'm going to scroll through these comments here because I have been getting behind. There's a lot of comments tonight, guys. I appreciate all the comments too, by the way. And if you ask a question and we don't answer it, throw some question marks on there and throw it back up again, because, guys, I try to look and catch them all, but sometimes it's tough. And if you hadn't already, hit the thumbs up button, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, what else? X, no matter whatever you're on, hit the smash the thumb or the heart or whatever you got on whatever you're watching. Yeah, that's right, Cody. That's my adventure satchel. Cody said it's not a man purse, it's a satchel. Brian, when I retire, I may very well bring back the fanny pack. I can't say I won't. Hey, don't you laugh over there, Mister I drive a minivan.
See, hey, look, I even got it in the right spot.
Cool.
But we're gonna move it there.
Maybe it won't blow away this time. Tommy, I never used a rotary for my Mon port. I'm guessing with the 40-watt Mon port, you would have to connect it to the stepper. I don't know. Never used a rotary with the K40. I know the P2 has a connector for one as well as the Hurricane, but I never saw one in my K40 I had or my M40 I had. Wi-Fi Dan says the Talon is an amazing rotary. I'm not sure which one comes with the crap bolt, but I don't like it because like the one that came with the bolt, those tumblers that I've been doing with the handles, the big 40-ounce tumblers that I've done like 3 batches so far. I could not do them on that machine because it's a roller that you have to sit it on and it rolls. And when you take the handle off of those big 40 ounces like that, you can't roll past that handle or it's gonna come flying off of there. I prefer a chuck. I don't want anything touching the outside of the tumbler. I want it to either grab the ends or go inside and squeeze outward. That's just me personally. Says audio went out of sync when you started scrolling the banner. Well, that banner's been on pretty much the whole time. They shouldn't have messed with it, but I don't know. Cornbread Craft said he stepped away for a minute. What is Steve doing? Trying to start a fire? I asked him if he had his water bottle handy, and he said he does. And all of us are helping him watch it. So it's a good thing, too, because it knocked his leaf across the way of the wall ago. He didn't even know it. I had to tell him.
Well, it wasn't on fire.
Oh, no, it wasn't on fire. I'm not sure which one it is, Cody, but I don't like it. I do not like it. And it was expensive, too. I was like, my gosh, man, that ought to be a good one. And for regular stuff, like for regular, like small stuff, maybe. Thunderbolt laser. Let me see which one it comes with. I think that is the name of it.
See if we can get this to focus. Kinda.
Yeah, kind of, sort of did it.
It's a little dark on the one side and then light on the other.
Yeah.
I'm going to call that a material imperfection.
Yeah. Let's see here.
But we are rolling up on.
I think it's called the. Go ahead.
We're rolling up on the halfway point. So the banner down at the bottom, free swag. We are giving away a small swag kit tonight to test our giveaway tools. So we'll be pulling that pretty soon. So if you haven't entered, hit hashtag free swag. We got 106 in there. So
sweet. Looks like somebody's gonna win.
Looks like it's collecting quite a few. And like I said, this is all kind of getting ramped up for our we got our 100th episode coming up in about 4 weeks after this. Basically, the first one in November should be our 100th episode. We're going to be working with a few people to do some giveaways there. And then also trying to work on some for this Christmas. I think we looked at it as probably going to be the December 22nd show. We're going to try to pull together some giveaways. Really appreciate everybody that comes and hangs out with us on, our Sunday nights, watches our videos, hangs out with the Facebook group and such. And so we want to give some thanks back to you all. So this is testing out the new software, testing out the new tool. We want to make sure we got it right for when we pull those. So go ahead and get your entry in there with hashtag free swag, and we'll pull that shortly.
I'm not sure if this is the same one they have. It may be. I don't know, but I see that they do offer a Roto Boss, and it looks a lot like the one they've got on that machine up there. But I see they offer a Chuck too, so that's good. So if I do ever buy myself a Thunder, I'm getting the Chuck. I do not want that thing that the other one, because it had like a bunch of little tiny parts. You have to it's just crazy hooking it up. But anyway, I like the machine. Not a fan of the rotary, and it may be one of those things that I'm just so used to what I'm used to. I don't want to change, but we'll see. Chuck says, Steve, do you have feet on your honeycomb in the P2? Steve has an aftermarket honeycomb that he got his hands on that is actually made to where it fits the work area better than the one that X-Tool makes, which I don't know why they did what they did.
So this is a Dofiki honeycomb panel, and I paid for this on Amazon. I saw it because I haven't had a honeycomb with my P2 the whole time I've had it, but they do include, see if I can get these in here, include these little rubber feet. So there's 6 of them. I've got in the middle and in the corners. And this thing fits very well. There's probably about, I don't even think there's an 1/8 of an inch around the edges. So these do hold it pretty snug. If you really wanted to hold it firm, just a little shim in the side and the back. But yeah, this one is, I think it's $59 on Amazon. I actually I put up an Amazon review video, not on YouTube, but on Amazon for this one. And it is linked in my Amazon store if anyone's interested in it. But yeah, I found this one for a lot less than the X-Tool. It's been working really well. It sits flush. It's just thick enough that it sits flush. And so I've been pretty happy with it.
Yeah, that was the one that doesn't rock around, right? Like it actually fits in there without having to space it to hold it still.
Yeah, well, here, let me get the camera back up. And
yeah, your camera looks like it's fell off to the side. All right, guys. While Steve is fixing his camera that he knocked off on the floor, don't forget down below hashtag free swag. That was Steve's doings. Got some little trinkets and stuff from the Steve's workshop over there that he's going to be sending out to the lucky winner for tonight, and we're going to be drawing on that here shortly. Testing out the tools because we do plan to start doing more giveaways, bigger giveaways in the future. So yeah, that looks like it fits pretty well.
So
that was the thing that got me about the P2 was the honeycomb looked like it was an afterthought.
It was like just that much. I mean, you could slide it just a touch, so like a shim right there.
Yeah.
That
you could
extend it as moving.
Yeah, you could put some foam spacers or something on the other end to where you could kind of, you could put some foam spacers in there and make that thing hold itself tight. So yeah, I could live with that. Well,
can click happy.
Yep. All right. So Robbie said he has the same honeycomb and loves it. So,
and they also, that same brand, they make one that fits the We Create vision, I believe. So you can get that in place of the knife bed. So they, it's one of the nice things. The aftermarket for some of these lasers are kind of nice. They might not be laser manufacturers, but they see some of the feedback from the initial releases. And I know X-Tool kind of made a newer one that fits maybe better. I have no idea how well it fits their V2 for that, but it's worth it taking a look at some of the third-party places for those.
I think I made them mad with my review on that because I'm like, seriously, 1.5 inch more honeycomb. I mean, but whatever.
Burn carve print. This is a different size. The S1 is not quite the same size. So this one wouldn't. I'm not sure that they have an aftermarket one for that, but I can check real quick.
Harry wants to know, does it smell like burning leaves over at your place now?
No. Well, it does look like they have. Looks like they have one that does fit the S1 for $60 from the same brand.
Navy Cops asking, says he's got a couple of 20-watt diode lasers, had a couple of things, but with all of the videos out there, any recommendations on good starter videos for a still new to it guy? I've got a Lightburn crash course. I know Steve has. Basically just anything related to Lightburn. If you're going to be running Lightburn, just start out simple. And when you come to a spot to where you don't know what to do some more research. And as you get to where you're doing some cool stuff, it'll kind of help motivate you. But I like to think that some of my Lightburn videos are helpful. Steve has some. Rich over at Louisiana Hobby Guy, Hobo with Wood does a lot of stuff with Lightburn tutorial type stuff. They're out there. You just got to look for it. Lightburn themselves have a really immense library of videos that cover almost everything about Lightburn. If you want to go check that out as well, there's plenty of resources for Lightburn if that's what you're running on your machine. And if you're not running Lightburn, that's another good reason for running Lightburn is there's just countless people out there that kind of know what they're doing, like me and Steve, that can throw you a bone if you need, a little assistance from time to time.
So I just dropped a link to the Dofiki. That's the one for the S1 for that honeycomb. So I know a couple people are asking for that. But yeah, search for that name and you might be able to come up with the one for the We Create as well as the P2 as well. So I've only used the one for the P2, so that's the only one I can speak to. But at Navy Cop, as far as videos, yeah, I have actually let me see if I can bring this up. Here we go. Just gotta make sure I get the right window. I have a couple. So there's one I have getting started in Lightburn. That's one I did with the Lasermatic. And then I also have another one, basically how to use your X-Tool S1 with XCS 2.0. Those are a couple of them that they're a little bit longer, but they walk through kind of turn it, right when you turn it on, making sure you got it hooked up right to here's, maybe doing a material test. And here's a couple of quick fix first projects. So if you're looking at using the XCS software, and it says S1 because it also, I think, talks about some of the framing with their pinpoint stuff. It'll kind of cover the same stuff for any laser on X-Tool. And then the Lightburn one, it's a little bit specific to the Lasermatic as far as a couple of its features, but as far as just getting started with Lightburn, that's a good one. But I try to, on any of my project videos, I generally will walk through it a bit to kind of show how I got to it. So like, I did this one with luminaries and I actually show a little bit of the design process. In that one, I actually start out in an online box generator and then do some editing. So I try to make sure that my project videos actually show a bit of the development to help people actually be able to build the projects themselves. So
yeah, well, I actually have some live like project build videos that I do because a lot of times I'll come in here and be like, all right, I got a job I got to do tonight. I'm going to be making a file for this job, and I'll just be like, you know what, let's throw up a live. That way the people that want to learn Lightburn can come in and watch along and see. You can see when I screw up, you can see when I get it right, or you can see when I confuse myself or can't add, whatever the case may be. So a lot of the videos, a lot of the project videos that we do, if it's not a review of a machine, if it's got anything to do with the project, there's going to be some little tidbits in there a lot of times to help you out. But like I said, with Lightburn too, don't get caught up on the fact that, oh, this guy's doing a video and he's talking about it, but he's got a different machine than what I use. Whether it's an Atomstack, Sculpt Fun, Creality, Rolly, is if it's using Lightburn, the process is the same. It's just a different tool. That's kind of like, using a skill saw. It doesn't matter what brand skill saw you have. It's doing the same thing. So don't get wrapped around, well, there's some videos, but I have this machine and all the videos show that machine. As long as the control software is Lightburn, the design aspects and control aspects of the machine are going to be very, very close. It's like some machines don't have certain functions like Power Z and stuff like that, but nothing big. But great. Yeah, this is the little crutch caddies that I've designed. I've got 2 of them in my bag here that I had to bring out here sand because somebody forgot to add a little bit of a bevel to the edges. They were kind of sharp. But I fixed that. I've got 2 more printing in orange. And then, of course, I have these because I got to have these because that way when I'm crutching myself around the house, I got my phone with me or my phone charger or, whatever. It's just nice to have a little storage pocket on there to haul stuff. Until I get rid of those things.
All right. All right. Well, we have 119 entries for the swag kit. So I see Jack just joined. Jack, we're doing a giveaway there. We're about to pull for it. So keyword last call, hashtag free swag. We got a few things, can koozies, stickers, challenge coin to send out. So if you want to get entered into the drawing for that, and I will ship these anywhere that I'm not setting it up on a SpaceX rocket. That's going to be a little expensive.
I was going to say, could you send it to the space station?
We will send it to anywhere that the post office will forward it on to anyway. But go ahead and get that entered, and we'll pull that here and just we'll say at 8:15. So you got 2 minutes on my count. So,
yep. So if you hadn't got that that comment in there, hashtag free swag. That I mean, it rhymes. I'll give you that, but
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're still taking questions, Jack. We're just wanted to get this out there before the very end of it. So,
and we're going to start doing a lot more of this kind of stuff as we progress. We're going to try to start doing some more machines and peripherals, accessories, and stuff like that. We are going to have. You're not going to want to miss our Christmas. The last live before Christmas this year, you're not going to want to miss that one. I don't care if you have to take it with you. You put your ear pods in and watch it on your phone. You're not going to want to miss that one. We are going to try to ramp up to make that our biggest live yet. The last Christmas, we watched it the other day because Steve wanted to see me dance. Last Christmas, we broke. What did we break? Was it 300?
I
hope it wasn't 200 because we're sitting at 200 right now.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure
it was 300. I think
it was 300 for one of those giveaways. So yeah, we'll try to ramp that up and
yeah, because I made a comment if we hit 300. My crazy tail made a comment that if we hit 300 subscribers, I would dance as a joke. And then we hit 300 subscribers, and like a whole bunch of y'all, and I know Chris was involved in it. A whole bunch of y'all went to go and dance. You said you was going to dance, and basically said if I didn't dance, it made me a liar. So at that point, I had to do like the little Fortnite dance or something Steve come up with, and I really, really messed that up according to my daughter. But yeah, I tried it. Hey. I tried.
I mean, I can't be that critical because there's no way I would be able to do it. But yeah, no, that was not a recognizable Fortnite dance. So.
Yeah, Brian. I think Brian was in here too. Yeah, yeah, Brian. I know Brian was here. I'm pretty sure Chris was. Like a lot of the usual guys were here, and they were like, "Dance, dance, dance," because nobody was going to let me off the hook. I begged and pleaded to get like a pass on it, and no, just wouldn't do it.
All right. Well, we've we've rolled up. It's 8:15. So we are going to go ahead.
We need a drum roll. I need to add drum roll to my thing.
Pull the winner. We've got 130 entries in for this. So I'm going to go ahead and click the button, and we will see who is the winner in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And the winner is going to be Robert Morris.
Robert Morris. Hey.
All right. So, Robert, what I'm going to need you to do is go ahead and I will update this. I'm going to need you to send me an email to. We'll have you send it to my Gmail because that'll come through fairly quick. And there you go. So send it to vintari@gmail.com. Send me your shipping info, and I'll get this boxed up, packaged up, and we'll send it on. So thank you, everyone, for helping us test this out. Like we said, we'll be doing more.
Yeah, this is just a little test of it. I kind of feel like I need to throw something in the hat now that you've done it. I got some orange Clack Shack shirts, some new ones, but I've only got large and extra large. Because I would give those out at events when I show up at events, but I found out the other day I need to order some 2X and some 3X to take with me as well, because out of the people that showed up from out of state at the event, a couple of them's like, I'll take your shirt, but I can't wear it because they were like your size. And I was like, my bad, dude. My bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll both be working on some of that. We'll have some smaller giveaways like this. And, as we get some restocked on swag and other things, we'll run these, but we also want to be able to work with other vendors and be able to provide some equipment or supplies and useful tools, whatever we can get out there to kind of say thank you to everyone. So again, Robert,
I know me and you both have some small stuff around here. I can't remember where I put the one that I was going to try to do tonight, but look, I think I figured out where I might have put it.
So, but yeah, we will, Robert, if you can email me at that email address there down the bottom, I'll make sure to get this sent off to you. So, and everyone else, keep tuning in. We'll have more of these in the future.
Yeah, I still don't know where it's at. I'm going to have to find it. I've got a couple of small things around here that I was going to throw up also. We'll have to save that for maybe I can find it by next Sunday. I know it's here. I moved it the other day when I was rearranging and cleaning. But I've got what's the name of it? Minton, that Minton camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just doesn't work for me. And I got plenty of cameras and stuff. So I think I'm going to throw that thing out there for somebody because it's small, easy to ship. I've still got the box. I got all the parts and stuff for it. So I just got to figure out where exactly I put the box. It may be up in the attic. And if so, it may be after I recover or after I get a visitor from Klein who can go up there. I don't know if Bill can go up that ladder. We might can get Klein and go up the ladder and get it if it's in the attic. It's probably not. It's probably on one of my shelves somewhere. I don't know where I put it. It's lost. So, but I've also got some other stuff. Once I get this leg healed, maybe we can take some more stuff in. And like I said, just we're also going to be working with some of the companies between now and Christmas about, because we've had companies reach out wanting us to try this or do a video with this machine that they sent us 6 months ago and that kind of thing. And so I may message some of them back and be like, hey, I'll do another video with your machine, but in return, you're going to have to contribute to our Christmas giveaway and give me one of these and see if I can talk them into it. No. No, guys, that truck is the nicest truck I've ever owned. So I'm not getting rid of that one. That one's going to have to last me. I can't afford another one. I'm trying to get it paid off before I retire. Bob, I had a little spill, slippery surface at a downward slope. I slipped. Left foot went forward, right foot tried to stay where it was, but I wound up doing like this split type stuff. Fell backwards, but instead of falling backwards into the left so that my right leg could like kick out from under me, the right leg got pinched. And so when I fell, I actually fell backwards on top of my right leg. And 60% of the tendon that connects my thigh to my kneecap ripped loose. And so I had to have that reattached. And so I'm like no non-load bearing, no use of my right leg right now. It's just there. I can't use it for anything. It's just there and it just hurts. It's got like a 6-inch incision from my kneecap up my thigh where they had to go in there and pull that muscle back down and reconnect everything. And I haven't taken any pain medicine since like 3 days after surgery. So take a Tylenol or ibuprofen.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
the banner down now.
This is actually something that I've thought about doing as well. You know, we can put together some file packs, or let people pick or something. So yeah, we're definitely open to ideas and trying to like I said.
I'm gonna do my Amazon. I'm gonna do my Amazon giveaway too, like we did last year. The ones of you that weren't here last year, what we did was I picked out a few items that I felt like people might want that are in the laser engraving. I think one of them was a fan, a honeycomb, and then I had the option that if you didn't want one of those, you could pick like an Amazon gift card, which basically I just send you money through Amazon, like Amazon credit. And so I'm going to do that again this year. I'm going to try to come up with a list of things for the prizes. And so we'll probably throw some of those in the mix as well as the machines and stuff that we're going to be doing with. But I think last year I had four winners for the Amazon prizes last year. So
you're basically laundering money is what you're saying.
No, it's just easier for me, and it's easier for me not to have to worry about where I'm shipping it to. Because if it's somebody that's in another country or whatever, as long as Amazon will ship there, it makes it easier for me. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I'm trying to ship it from my house to say Chris over in Australia, shipping is going to be a lot more than it would be if I just had Amazon drop it from wherever over that way. So,
yep.
But that's what we're getting into.
Well, we got some more questions rolling in. Marty's asking, what diode laser cutter engraver do you recommend getting right now? I currently have a Ortura LaserMaster 3 10 watt. I would say right now a good 20 watt will do a lot without breaking the bank. Yep. That being said, they've been making some advances. 40 watts pretty common across most of the manufacturers, and then some of them like Creality and Atomstack have jumped up into the 60 and 70 watt range as well. We'll have to kind of see where that, there's a curve at what point the cost is going up higher than the return and the improved speed and cutting ability and such. I still feel like you can get a good 20 watt probably in that $500 to $800 range, depending on the brand.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably try to stick toward the top because I think a lot of the 20 watt, I would stick with like say the longer B1, any of the algo lasers, the ASMR. So yeah, I mean, less than $1,000, you can get like a nice setup in the 20 watt range.
Yeah, 20 and so yeah, well, and longer they've got their 20 and their 30, and same with ASMR, they've got their 33 watt. That are pretty decent. So, but I don't know that there's one specific brand in general. I mean, everybody can probably come up with a list of complaints they've read online about any company out there. Ones that have been responsive for me have definitely been Xtool and Atomstack. ASMR's been decent, or ASMR. Longer, I haven't done much with them in a while. They did ask me about their little longer nano blue diode one, but I had I just had too many of them in recently and didn't want to take extra time because I I've been really wanting to get back on the projects and such, and so that's been some of my recent videos. I've been having fun with those and such. So, but
yeah, that's for sure.
But yeah, that definitely is something that's hard to gauge, is the after sales support that unfortunately you do need from time to time. And that's something that you kind of have to go off of the reviews and the feedback out there. Just take it anytime, take that with a grain of salt. You're going to hear the most of people who are having problems. You're not going to hear as much from people who are just working and not having any issues. So.
Well, somebody asked Steve. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I am currently at 360 days remaining until I retire. Woohoo! I got to get me. I need to build me a sign or something and like hang it somewhere where y'all can see it. But it's 360 days. I may make it. That may be a project video. I may make me a laser cut sign that I can just flip the numbers since I'm down to 360. All I have to do is like have a 1, 2, and a 3. And then, 0 through 9, 0 through 9. I can make that. So, 360 days remaining, and I will be a retired guy. But I wasn't going to bring it up, but since somebody asked, because I know Steve gets sensitive when I bring it up.
Yeah. Don's mentioning about doing speed tests on the F1 Ultra with stainless steel. Been getting colors of grays and whites. Need to change frequency settings to also get colors. That's one of those things where it's, you're basically trying to hit a certain temperature, and so it can be a variety of things that make those adjustments. It can be your power and your speed. It can be your line interval. Your frequency can definitely have a bit of an effect on that, but the one thing that depending on the thickness of your stainless steel, if you're using some really thin stuff, it's going to go from light to burned really quickly. When you have a bit of a thicker piece of stainless steel, it doesn't heat up as quickly, and therefore you're going to get a little more. You'll have a little bit more of a range that are going to get you those colors. And that's where, if you test it on some thin, cheap stainless steel and then move to some heavier stuff or vice versa, your settings are going to be way off. So,
make sure whatever you're using too, make sure it's not aluminum, because the grays and whites sounds remarkably like you're engraving aluminum.
Yeah.
So make sure whatever it is not tricking you and thinking it's steel when it's actually aluminum. I can get to it. I can't get to it without.
Yeah, I don't think I have mine handy. They're probably down in the other shop. Because when I was doing some of my work with the F1, I did in my review video talk about trying to make that American flag, and there are some settings in there that were getting a vein of colors, but again, that was dependent on those specific blanks that I was using, and they were actually too thin, because by the time I actually did the whole thing, it was starting to warp and curl, and then the stainless steel is heating up, so the reds went from kind of a lighter red to almost an orangish by the bottom, because it was heating up the stainless steel. So I'd either have to take it, break it out more and let it cool down in between them, or add some thicker stainless so it doesn't do that.
I'm getting proficient with those things. It still sucks though. So, because like aluminum with a fiber, typically, like you'll get that white, and so like if you're seeing white, it doesn't sound like stainless, because with stainless you're going to get this like burnt, like brown looking color, or you're going to start getting the colors in there. So, and this has got color in it a little bit, but it's hard to see. Lighting over here is terrible. But yeah, I would make sure it's steel, because if it's aluminum, it sounds like, if you're getting whites, it's making me think it's aluminum, unless it's got some kind of coating on it that's interacting.
Well, I mean, you will still get some whites and grays in stainless steel, but
I haven't seen many with the F1 Ultra. Like I said, if you go too hot, typically it's going to look like that. I burnt that one up, but My ultra test stuff's all the way over yonder.
Midnight Sun, I hyperextended my thumb, and so it did a little bit of tearing in there. And so if I wear this little brace, it keeps my thumb from moving in the direction it shouldn't, so it actually will heal up. And if I don't wear it, I do something stupid and it starts ripping it again. So it's getting to where I don't have to wear it all day now, which is nice, but it's one of those just slow things.
Yeah. I can't believe we got 185 people watching right now, and it's only showing 10 thumbs up or hearts.
Well, I think that's only from Facebook.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just like, wow. Okay. Well, it says all reactions.
Right. But if
I don't
you
know.
mouse over it, it'll just show you that it's from Facebook. So.
Oh, okay. I got it. All right.
New software.
I was fixing to say, golly, we're getting terrible about getting people to hit that thumbs up button, ain't we? Multicraft, if whatever you have, if it's not doing what you want it to do, that's when, in my opinion, that's when you need to upgrade. If you're able to do what you want to do with the machine and it's working for you, don't waste your money. I mean, keep your money in case you tear something up and you get forced into an upgrade. But if it's working and you're making money with it and having fun, depending on your situation and your intentions with that machine, then just keep rolling. Upgrading your machine or getting a more powerful machine, in my opinion, is always a plus, positive, because it's going to enable you to do the same things faster. But it's not necessarily a requirement if you're able to, if you're just doing it for fun and you're having fun with doing what you're doing and you're not worried about time, then do you really care if it takes twice as long to engrave something? Now, if you're trying to make money and you've got to, have a job done by Friday, then then it would matter to you how fast it takes. So everybody's situation is unique, and anybody that tries to tell you that there's only one answer to questions like that are just trying to sell you something. I see somebody said earlier that I don't remember who it was. It was it was either Brian or Chris, one of them, was saying a while ago, and I just wanted to say thanks, but they were saying that we had the show a year ago, and the cool part was that we're still the same guys from a year ago. That's the way we acted in that live. And
I don't know. You're on crutches and I'm wearing a wrist.
I was going to say, we're older and we're beat up, which now last year, if you remember, I had back surgery this time last year.
Yeah.
So October is quickly becoming not my favorite month.
Yeah.
September and October, as the past 2 Septembers and Octobers, I have endured more pain than I've endured my entire life. So I'm about done to be done with September and October.
Well, I mean, I kind of enjoy fall though. So
yeah, it's beating me up.
Hopefully Mr. RoboCop over there gets all fixed up. And
hey, I've got titanium. I got titanium plate right here with a bunch of screws from where my cheekbone got broke. I had a 40 caliber round removed from that hole right there. And now I've got, did he say Teflon or Kevlar? Kevlar thread holding my knee together. So, hey, there you go. Just piece together.
So Robert's asking,
$6 million man.
So Robert's asking, he dropped this question in the Facebook group, which there should be links down below if you're curious about that. We've got a laser engraver community group where you can ask questions. And there's at least 2,000 people in there. So if we can't get to it, a lot of other people do as well. But what setting could cause my laser to reset when trying to etch a JPEG with Lightburn? It's basically a Falcon 10 watt.
Reset?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, I'm looking at the post. Is that
Robert
Say? Yeah, I'm looking at it. He's got the G code over here. Starting stream, connection lost, port failed to open, failed to initialize, timeout. Okay, it's a looks to me and Steve can. Looks to me this is going to be a connection issue. Possibly either your baud rate is not correct, or you're having USB ports go to sleep or turn themselves off or something possibly. But now I am seeing fail to initiate the card. Well, if it's not connected, it's not going to initiate the card. Yeah. I would make sure your USBs aren't going to sleep and you don't have a baud rate connection issue. And if you just updated Lightburn, I have found in the past that when Lightburn updates are pushed out, sometimes it resets the baud rate on your machines and it'll mismatch them. If they're mismatched, it can cause connectivity issues. But it's a whole bunch of.
Yeah, something in the communication there. I guess does it work on like normal operations? Is it just the images? Because those are sending a lot of data compared to.
Yeah, it could be a G code error being caused by the image too. Because we had that one file, if you remember, me and you had trouble with, and you sent it to me or I sent it to you or whatever, and both of us at that certain point in that file, G code would error it out. But I don't see a G code error, because usually it would say G code error at line number whatever, and I'm not seeing that on this one.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like you say, a baud rate. It could be something that's just if it's losing the communication somehow. If it's working in other times, I wouldn't think of this, but I've seen a few lasers auto detect as the wrong type of laser, to where it wants to work but doesn't work completely. I got to bring up my Lightburn to double check.
I would be curious if it's working good on like regular vector stuff, and it only does it with this photo. It's very likely something to do with an anomaly in that photo.
So some of them, there's GRBL, there's GRBL LPC, and then there's GRBL-M3. And so if it's for some reason it's set up as a GRBL M3, that could be part of the problem. Most of them will be GRBL. Some of the newer ones that have like the autofocus and other things, they need to be on the GRBL LPC. But yeah, hard to say for sure on that one.
Yeah. Too old. Bob, me and you both getting hurt. Hey, it's rough. Life's rough on us old guys. Well, I say that. A lot of you guys are way older than us. Kevin said he's 70. Oh, so he's talking about the lights. Never mind. Which one did you just hit?
Oh, I was just going to bring this one up. Beaver Creek's asking about engraving an image on wood and covering it in epoxy for a cutting board, wondering how epoxy holds up to knife nicks. It's not recommended because it actually creates like a crystalline structure, and knives, they'll chip at it, and you can end up with epoxy shards in whatever you're cutting on. So I wouldn't recommend it for one you're going to use.
Now, if it's one of those that's decorative on one side and you're using the other side, but just make sure the person understands. Don't be chopping on the epoxy side. Chop on the side that you're going to have hidden when it's hanging on the wall or whatever. I've done that. I've made stuff with epoxy or backfilled it or whatever with paint and stuff like that. But I just tell people, hey, this is the side you use for chopping. This one is not.
Yeah, it's epoxy and CA glue. They're very brittle, so over time they'll chip and break. So not something I want to use in something that's going to take too much abuse like that.
Robert, Jack said it could be overscan, and it could be. So, like I said, a lot of these guys in the lobby here will know more about it than we do. So, might want to check your overscan settings and see what that is. I didn't see what he's looking at, but there again, I didn't zoom in either.
He's saying everything else works fine, but about half line into the picture, it just stops. Lightburn reports. So, yeah, to me, it really just seems like there's something mixed up in the. There's a lot of data that goes with the dithered drawings.
Yes.
You know, because every pixel is a power setting, and then it's got to calculate, does it need to speed up or slow down for it. So there's a lot of information going through those. So the first thing I would do is check the mod settings, make sure that the COM port and everything is matching what's set up in Lightburn, what's set up in the settings of the COM port and all that.
Midnight Sun wants to know if you need crutches for your thumb.
Yeah, well, it kind of is, because it kind of locks it in place.
Michael Keys asking Steve, did your host last week like the gift? I think about when you made the things for the cabin or whatever.
Yes. Actually, see if I can bring it up. They did, and they actually they put a post out, at least on Instagram. And Instagram does not like desktops, so
I hear you there, Tim. I'm feeling it more and more every year. So Tim said, welcome aboard for old age. Joseph, while Steve's doing that, so far I'm still liking the Atomstack, the Hurricane. Like I said, is it the most, like, compared it to, say, the Thunder or some of the high-end machines on the market, is it all that? No, but if for what they're charging for the machine and what I've seen it do so far, it's worth it to me. Because I've actually been using it to do a lot of wooden projects, and with the P2, for some reason, it just didn't flow that well with me. So I find myself using CO2 a lot more than I was before. Now, I did get it a little bit hot the other day, but I was running the stew out of it. But it never shut down or triggered a warning.
So yeah, this was kind of one of the things they posted. They took a picture of the set, both top and bottom. They tagged me and my wife's Instagram accounts. Basically just said, when friends who make handcraft items stay as guests, leave you a gift. Such a fun way to start the week. And that went out here, I think, also on their Facebook page. So
look at you with that free marketing.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. Is, this didn't cost me a whole lot. I mean, you buy the slate tiles in bulk to where you're paying, what, 50, 60 cents a piece maybe. And then I included my caddy there. I did add the little rubber feet, so there's a little cost there. But, there's, big ship on the lake. But there we go. This cost me next to nothing, and it's a nice thank you for them, and basically free advertising. So, and maybe they, if as a business, I've been thinking about taking some of these to the coffee shop in town. I'd like to hit up.
Well, and I will tell you this, because I've got a customer that they have like a RB and whatever you want to call it, VRBO or whatever. A lot of those people have multiple places. And then once they see what you can do, they're like, hey, can you make us something for this one? Can you make us something for that one? Or could you make us a sign that says Lake Life where we can put it out front? I mean, you can snowball yourself into getting some work. And then a lot of times, too, those folks that do that are in Facebook groups with other folks that do that as well, because they compare notes just like we do. And so they're going to be like, oh, look what one of my guests made for me. So you never know how far that one little thing is going to go for you. It could end up landing you a big customer or a bunch of, one-offs. You never know.
Yep. Yeah. Now they did have, when we were there was like a magnet, a laser engraved magnet fridge. And then I think there was a cribbage board that was from a semi-local place to them that was providing them with some things. So, and this is 4.5, almost 5 hours away from me. So this is more of just a thank you. And I try to do this too. Like if we stay at an Airbnb or or non chain, a privately owned place. Generally, if they're a little bit smaller like this, I like to do that as just kind of a thank you for them. And plus, it was kind of fun, doing that out on the shores of Lake Superior. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring I brought half of my wireless mic kit, but I didn't bring the receiver side. So that kind of threw me for a curve. But it also allowed me to come back and actually show the software stuff. It kind of worked out in the end, but what else we got? We got about 15 minutes. I know we've got a few questions here. Jack's asking, to get rid of charred edges, am I better off going lighter power and more passes, fewer passes, slower speed? What adds up to the least amount of charred edges?
Just the right speed and air assist.
Yeah, ideally, if you can get it through in a single pass, that's going to help you better, because if fewer passes will and a higher speed is going to mean that the laser lingers less. But every pass, then it's going to leave that charred mess that it's got to cut through, and the smoke isn't going through, and so it's going to come up across your parts, and it's going to leave more of that kind of staining on there and such. So ideally, if you can find the right speed and power to get through, then it's playing with your air assist, and you should be able to find just enough speed to get through, just enough power to get through at fast enough speed. Now, if you're talking about a lower power laser and you got to do multiple passes, then yes, the faster you can go, the less charring you're going to have, but you may end up with more of that kind of staining on the top side.
Yeah, it's a balancing act. You're going to have some char on the edges. I mean, it's especially a lot of that too depends on the material, what kind of glue they use. If it's plywood, what kind of sap's in the material. If it's pine or oak or something like that. I mean, there's a whole bunch of variables. But yeah, settings can help. Philip saying, what LPI do you do on tumblers for your engraves? I'm focusing at 3 to 5 millimeters, but still seeing some harshness on the stainless steel, not as smooth or shiny as I'm wanting. Well, two things. You want to go fast enough that you're not actually making those little tiny lines. Like you could, with the right laser and the right power on a laser, you could almost legitimately etch stainless steel with a diode. Now, usually it'll start bucking and it'll start heating the material up and cause problems before you actually see it etching. But you don't want to go so slow as to where you're actually interacting with the stainless steel. Because if you go slow enough to where you're interacting with the stainless steel, what you're going to end up with is like basically this is stainless. You can make these like grays like this with a diode. So if you go too slow, you're going to mark the stainless. And if you're going for like the shiny look on the stainless, you don't want to interact with the material. So you're going to have to go fast enough to only remove the powder coating completely, but not too hot to where you're marking the stainless steel. LPI, I usually stay around, depending on the machine, because some of the machines like the 40 watt with the X tool, it's a little easier because a lot of people and I hear this all the time. Oh, I would rather have the 20 watt if I'm going to get the S1 because it's had a finer dot size. Well, that's true. But when you're doing tumblers, that fine dot size can actually contribute to lines if you're not careful, if you don't figure out the proper LPI. So whatever your machine is, you may want to run an LPI test on a tumbler and just see at what LPI you start getting the results that you want. But usually between 200 and 300, somewhere in there is where I go. And I'm usually going to do a 3 millimeter raised focus, which does two things. It gives you an added 3 millimeters margin of error, and it also actually stretches your beam out a little bit, which does two things: increases overlap and also reduces the engraving potential or the power in which is hitting the stainless. So it actually decreases your chance of marking the stainless a little bit as well. Whereas if you're perfectly focused, you can actually start to see real faint, like scratches almost in the stainless. So my thing would be test a bunch of different LPIs. Even if you don't do like a speed and power test, I can't reach it, but just you can make a circle on your tumbler and just put text in the middle for what the LPI is, and just make a design that has like, 200, 220, 230, 250, 270, and just do those little circles all over it, and then look at it. And if you really want to know what the engrave looks like, you can actually take, especially with an iPhone. Let's see if I can get this one to do it. You can take these things, actually do a really good job of taking some really high definition photos, and you can take a picture and zoom in, and you can actually see, like even on this one, this is an older cup, so this is not one of my better ones. This is like a tester. You can actually zoom in and see what's happening in the engrave. If you start noticing that there's little hairs in between here where the material is not being completely removed, then that lets you know that your LPI or your overlap, either you need to raise the focus or change the LPI. So, but yeah, it's kind of crazy how well you can zoom in with these phones and look at these engraves on stainless steel. But that actually looks like a crosshatch. So I think I ran that one crosshatch whenever I did it. But I've had this one for a long time. You can't really tell it, but I put the dimensions of the tumbler in wrong, and so it looks squished. It actually is squished. This one is, because I measured the tumbler like down here or up here or vice versa, and so it squished my image. But it still works. I use it around the house, around the shop, and I'm probably the only person here that notices it. But tumblers take practice. Well, that's why a lot of people don't like tumblers.
Yes, they do.
And if you screw up, it's not like a 10-cent bottle opener. It's usually going to be $3 or $4 at least, depending on how much you're paying for your tumblers. If it's a Yeti, it's a lot more than that. That's why I stay away from Yetis, because you're gonna have goofs. If you think you're going to sit here and do 50 tumblers and not screw up one, it's probably not going to happen. The last 3 batches me and Bill did, we only screwed up one that was minor, but we was able to fix it, and one that we couldn't fix. But now that was, a series of unfortunate events.
Question about which social platform is the most responsive to watch you guys on. I'm using YouTube, but if Facebook is better, I'll switch. I don't know about there's any difference there, especially when we're doing this live. It should be everything should be going out, and then all the comments should be coming back in. In general, I mean, for my stuff, I pay attention to Facebook and such, but most of my content gets posted out to YouTube. But I do put some behind the scenes stuff on like Instagram and Facebook. I don't really use my Twitter that much, or X, I should say.
Yeah.
So for me, YouTube's really where, as far as getting my normal content, but also like I say, I'm on Facebook. I watch the groups. I post some things on my page as well. But it generally kind of all circles around my YouTube channel.
Yeah. Mine's the same way. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, just from like currently the way things are in my world, I'd rather you watch it on YouTube because YouTube pays me. Facebook does not. Now, it's not I don't make a killing. The video from like 2 weeks ago, I think I made $6, but it's $6, So the lives we don't do the lives because they pay, because lives are I don't know. Shorts are kind of terrible too, but lives and shorts don't pay like nothing compared to long form videos. It's just the way that it works. So lives, we do them more or less just to hang out with you guys, answer question, just have a good time, just hang out. But if you're going to watch, you can play it on both if you want. Like I said the other night, you can pull it up on Facebook if you're on a computer and just mute it and watch it on YouTube if you get the bandwidth to do so. But if you got to pick between Facebook and YouTube on my account, I would rather you watch me on YouTube because they're the only ones right now that actually will even give me a dime. Facebook occasionally will send me like $20, but that's rare. I'm not actually monetized on Facebook yet.
Mm-hmm.
Now I do have my X, and I was going to share that with you guys. I just because when they swapped from Twitter to X, I never got on board. I was like, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to let things kind of settle down a little bit before I go to moving all my stuff into X because I didn't know where it was going. And so up until today, I was not certified, which meant I couldn't stream to X, but I currently have it set up and got it up and going. And I think I'm at 63 followers now, which is actually more than I had earlier. So that's good. So I'm going to drop a link to it if you have it and if you want to go over and hit that follow button, I'd appreciate it. But like I said, if you got to pick which one to watch, YouTube right now gets my vote. But if it's for people that do YouTube, that's why I have the other avenues because there's a lot of things that I have other like companies and small businesses that I work with too. Facebook also is where I sell a lot of my products. So when I do a job or take a picture and put it out there, that's why Facebook I lean heavily into it a lot more with like project pictures and stuff like that. Is to try to drum up work because I can post a picture of like that license plate I did the other day and get an order for 5 or 6 of them. So it helps me drum up work. So that's you'll see a lot more of my self marketing on the Facebook page when it comes to that because I'm trying to get people to order stuff.
I just signed into mine. I have it on my phone and I read some things there, but I haven't posted there in almost a year. And that was basically just my cutting French cleats on the X-Tool D1. But even the header is still one of my model airplane things. So I'm out there. If you want to follow me, I don't randomly post it, but for me, it's more Facebook. If you want some interaction, there's also Instagram. I'm out there on a lot of them. Just the only ones I'm really active on are YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yeah, if you look at my X, the last post to it was July the 7th. And it was a live that we did. So this is the very next post after that is in October. So yeah, it's been a minute. Michael, the mirrors in the Hurricane, that's one thing that it leaps and bounds above the X-Tool on mirror alignment because of that internal red laser. You literally can line those mirrors up like a laser pointer. Like you don't have to hit the fire button. You don't have to put the tape over the lenses or nothing. You just point it like a laser pointer until you see the red dot hitting the material and then just move it around inside the workspace to make sure that it stays aligned. It literally, when I got it, the mirrors were out of alignment because mine got dropped on its head. It actually broke a piece inside of it where they dropped it and dented the corner of the box and all that. But I had to do some minor adjustments to it and as well as set the mirrors. But it literally took me 3 minutes and I had the mirrors aligned and had it cutting. So I haven't checked them lately, but it's still cutting fine. So I'm assuming they're still lined up because I have no dead spots in my work area or nothing. Because if your mirrors start getting out of alignment, you'll wind up with like it doesn't do anything in this corner or this corner. Typically, from my experience with the ones I've had. Steve, did you got anything to talk about on the 12?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I'm not going to be demoing up there. I thought about maybe even setting up at their swap table. I probably won't do that, but I am planning on being there. Probably at least in the morning. The show starts at 9, goes till I think 4. I'm gonna probably commit to I'll be there no later than 10 and probably stay, a couple hours at least. Who knows? Maybe all day. But there's the Minnesota Woodworking Expo. It's at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. It's from 9 to 4, free admission. I don't think there's any parking fees or anything. They're only the Woodworking Guild of Minnesota sponsors it, and they have the vendors kind of help kind of cover the cost as well. But I'm planning on being up there like I said, probably no later than 10. I'll be hanging around either outside in the swap area or checking out the booths on the inside. So just look for the tall guy. Probably have a hat.
Just lurking in the shadows.
So, and I'll have some stickers and such with me. So if you're up there, come say hi. We'll chat for a bit and yeah. So we'll like I say, I'll be there probably at least 10 to noon or 10 to 1 at least. So.
You're not gonna be out in the parking lot in that van handing out candy, are you?
Well, I mean, maybe I'll bring some things. You know, some. I do have some. Like I've got a hollow chisel mortiser that I haven't used in ages that I thought about bringing up to the swap meet. But the problem with that is then you got to sit there at your table and hope someone comes by and wants to buy it and not, rob you blind for it. I'd rather kind of be able to just walk around and hang out with people and talk. So, but yes, I will. I'm planning on being there unless some emergency crazy thing keeps me away. But the weather's looking great. As a matter of fact, the National Weather Service said the weather for the next week is incredibly boring. So, it's going to be above average temperatures, but it shouldn't be any rain. So it should be a good time. So yeah, I will be up there.
Well, Gray, you see what Gray's saying down there? He said he thought we made about $1,000 each video. Well, Gray, there you go, bro. That is the last Sunday Night Live video right there. $6.26. I made enough to buy myself. I don't know. Could I buy a cup of coffee at the coffee shop with that?
I mean,
as long as it wasn't like a double.
Away.
As long as it wasn't a double latte. If I just got a regular cup of Joe, I guess I could. As long as it wasn't like a double latte, whatever. I don't think you're not going to get a biscuit or a muffin or nothing at Starbucks and a coffee for that. So there you go. So if for you guys that were worried that me and Steve needed help getting our money to the bank, now you know that's not the case. Not with lives, especially. I mean, I will say the other videos do pay a little better, but lives, shorts. I think I make like $1 off of some of my shorts.
I think I actually owe. I think I owe you too much for the last one we did.
They start charging you money. Yeah. Now the one that I did, I think I made $1.77 off of yesterday's video.
Nice.
Yeah. So a couple more dollars, I can buy me a drink.
Well, I mean, if we were making $1,000 each video, I'd be putting more out, and I wouldn't be talking about when I'm retiring.
I was going to say, y'all see me just heavily medicated all up in the camera if I was making $1,000 video.
Yeah. But hey, whatever happened to your video glasses?
I'll wear them every day when I'm at work. I don't wear them just like in general, but they're my sunglasses. I wear them like they're in the house, laying on the counter. I use them when I need them on the video, but I've got my new little camera that I bought myself because I wanted it. I've got this little camera here. The videos that y'all been seeing where I've got like up close and personal footage inside the laser, I've been using this little guy because literally if I take this battery off of it, this is the camera. This is the whole camera. So, and it's magnetic. So I don't have anything. Well, no, that's stainless. Okay, this might work. So I could literally like sit it on the honeycomb and I don't got to worry about it falling over. Like it's pretty awesome. So I use this little guy inside the camera. It's inside the enclosures, and I can even like stick it to the side of the enclosure or whatever. It's magnetic, and so I've been using this to do a lot of that real close footage. But like some of the other stuff, I still use my glasses. So you can stick it. I can stick it like that. It's magnetic. So it's
I
like
used
awesome.
that in the X-Tool P2 for one of the recent videos. Oh, I think it was the Luminary one. And I know that's one of the things you commented on the Hurricane. It's got so much more extra overflow space. There's none in there. And I was worried because I had it just slightly angled and the gantry keeps getting closer to it. And I'm like, but it fit barely. But yeah, it's a little difficult. Jack's asking, anyone with the X2F1 have a problem with the fire detection alarm constantly going off after a second or two of the framing being on? No, but I think I probably turned it off on that machine.
Yeah, when I went to an event, the first event I did, I didn't have a problem. Second event I went to, I was facing the sun was over my shoulder. It started going off. I turned it off. Those flame sensors, I'm guessing they are sensing like infrared, like an IR sensor, and I guess sunlight and enough concentrated beam hits just right, it'll trigger it. I don't know, but I know it happens really bad if there's sunlight anywhere near that machine. Because it didn't do it as long as it was sitting over here. But when the minute I took it out and got it out in the sun, it started doing it. My D1 did the same thing, my D1 Pro. So I understand the need for them and the liability reasons they put them on there, but those things to me just wreck projects. Yeah, Steve's over on X. What's up?
Yeah.
How is it, sir? Mr. Ballard?
Yeah, Ryan.
How are you?
That's all right. I was going to find the link to the Dave Gatton challenge, as people were asking about the Christmas challenge. But Ryan's the guy who's running that this year, and his crew over there. They do a live stream Saturday evenings, talk about what's going on. They share some cool videos out from some people. So it if you're interested in a holiday challenge, definitely go check out his channel. They're like I said, they're doing 2 different ones. Let me see if I can grab his channel real quick, and I'll drop that out there. But good to see you here, Ryan, and hopefully we'll get a few more people putting in at least a Christmas ornament, if not a full video there for you. So that should be hitting out there for everybody if you want to check him out. Can you?
Whoa.
Yeah, Brian, another reason too is me and Steve don't try to make money off of the lives. We don't even turn monetization on until the replay, because we don't want you guys to miss something during the live because of an ad. So that's on us. It's not making that little bit of extra money during the live is not important to me. I don't want you guys to miss nothing. So I always wait until after the live's over with before I even turn on monetization on them. And Steve, I know Steve does the same thing, because sometimes we'll just forget to turn it on at all. And it'll be like 2 weeks later, we'll be like, why have I got this one that's not monetized? And then we realize we just forgot to turn it on. Let's see. What is the max depth of the bed? Well, Michael, the bed right now, no, you couldn't, not without without the riser. But I do know that they've got a riser. I'm supposed to be getting the riser, but because this machine's a prototype and it's a pre-release, I don't even think the riser exists yet, because I haven't seen anybody with the riser for the Atomstack. They have a riser, a conveyor that allows you to do a pass through up to like 8 foot, as well as chuck. And I haven't got any of those yet. They're supposed to send them to me whenever they become available. But this machine is still kind of in R&D. So the machine that I have, there will be changes made to the one that they actually send to production. Ballard said he wished it was a $6 high roller. We try not to spend it all in one place. I mean, I think I could get me a couple of Monster Energy drinks with that.
I was trying to. Jack was asking about where you turn off the.
Hey, I got a comment from X, so that does work. I see Steve commented from X, and so did Ralph S.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's actually tied in. Cool.
It is working over there. So
I mean, the software, other than I liked when we had the comments on the screen for everybody to see, but I mean, all in all, other than that, it seemed everything else seems to be doing fine. Did you put the action cam links in there?
Yeah, I did. Vic, yeah, I do not as much as I used to, but I do have a few builds I pull down, and I've got one that's partially covered right now. I've got another one that is covered, but just needs some final setup I'm hoping maybe still get it flown this fall. But I kind of overdosed on the hobby, and it's been nice to kind of just have it be a hobby again. But yeah, definitely. Well, here. Anyway, you can kind of see there's part of an airplane hanging down there, and there's a couple other in here. But I also have I have a shed out at our flying field that we've got a few sheds out there where they're locked up and secure, but I don't have to store them in here, which is kind of nice. But I do it just not quite as crazily as I did for a number of years.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark, that's one of the reasons why I said we don't. Oh,
sorry.
Oh. Mark, that's one of the reasons why we don't turn it on. It's just like I said, it's not that much money we're missing out on. And if you guys are going to sit with us and be here on time and pay attention and all that, we're not going to make you watch a bunch of commercials. Now, if you have to catch a replay to where, basically those are just built-in bathroom breaks for you. So we don't mind so much, but the live itself, we don't want you to have to deal with that.
I was going to say, if we start doing any marathon ones that are longer than 2 hours, we may have to put in an intermission there, and then we'll drop some. Yeah. We'll manually drop some ads or something while we refill beverages and such.
Like we're now in a commercial break. Yeah, but now lives don't pay all that well. They do okay, but there's a lot of dead space, and so I'll just the problem is not everybody's going to sit and watch a 2 hour live or an hour live. A 15-20 minute video, your chances are pretty good. An hour long video, if it's something they really care about, it just depends. But yeah, we're not killing it over here. So if y'all thinking that we, me and Steve are just raking it in, that ain't the case. But I will say this. I see somebody was talking about it probably costs them more to ship the check. They found a solution for that is that they make you do direct deposit. So, well, I don't know if they make you, but mine's direct deposit.
They have a I'm trying to remember. I think there's a minimum that you do a check. Now, what was it? Amazon, they'll send you a check, but they'll charge you like a $15 fee. And they did this thing where for some reason, everything was set up fine on my end, but they started sending me checks, and I'm like, why are you doing this? And so I had to get on support saying, why are you sending this? I don't want to pay the fee. You've got my information. Like, oh, no, you're all good. Don't worry about it. Next month, another check, another $15 fee. And it's not like I'm raking it in. I mean, that in some months, that's a good chunk of the revenue from Amazon. Cause we try to drop links in here when it's something useful and whatnot, but I'm not out there just trying to, be an Amazon salesman, but
we don't want to be panhandling.
They most of the places, if you make them cut a check, they'll charge you for it. So
yeah. Oh, look at that. We appreciate that. All right.
Yeah.
Says the impaler there. He says the info and interactions we provide in the shows is worth sitting for a couple hours. I think so, but I'm biased. Now, some days. Some days we go down rabbit holes.
But Don's asking about testing the X-Tool M1 Ultra. Have you had issues with it not picking up the cover for the inkjet after printing? I have noticed that on a couple times. Now, I was doing more printing the past couple of days and testing things out. It hasn't happened recently. But when I was having it do a multiple job, I was trying to have it do, I think, a print and then a laser cut. There it was being very weird. And so, but doing it I did it on some sticker paper. I did just normal print on a coaster. And some other stuff like that. It seems okay, but I have noticed it, and I couldn't tell you any rhyme or reason as to why. So, but we'll see. It is still a new device, and I'm still figuring it out a little bit. That's why it hasn't dropped yet. But it is an interesting device. As far as if you're into you want to dabble in a bunch of different mediums, playing around with vinyl, heat transfer vinyl, blade cutting for leather and cloth, as well as a laser and a printer, all this stuff. It does do all these things, but it's got limitations to, the working area and things like that. So it's definitely a kind of a cool machine for, it's definitely for crafters though. So
see there, look at that right there.
The problem is sarcasm doesn't always come through in text.
Oh. Marty's asking, Atomstack A40 Max or A40 Pro V2?
Well, the Max, you're going to get that wider working
Yes.
area. And for me, the Pro V2 is kind of nice. They've got their newer style module with the kind of the power sensing fan. They've got the autofocus on it. But
it's going to look a lot like that A70 right there.
The having the bigger work area is always going to be something I look for over some of those creature comforts, but not necessities, I guess is what I'd call it. So,
yeah, I agree. If you have room for it, now, if you are working on a limited area, you've only got like a 3 foot by 3 foot area that you want to account for this thing, then yeah, the A40 Pro, go ahead and get yourself the Z axis and everything. But if you have the room for it, the X40 Max is a really good machine. Now, the caveat to it is you're going to need to have the ability to make your own enclosure, in my opinion, to be able to get the full potential out of the machine. If you try to sit it on the table and putting it in one of those zip-in enclosures or whatever, you're not going to be able to use it to its full potential. I think you have to have an enclosure to be able to do that.
Are you poking fun at my cobbled together igloo styrofoam enclosure that
I did find that thumbnail today that I made where it had an igloo over your machine, where you made one out of whatever it was.
Yeah.
I went to Walmart and bought a styrofoam cooler.
No, actually, it was some sheet foam that I've used in my model airplane stuff, so it was handy. Yeah. No foam was really harmed in the redneck engineered enclosure.
Yeah. Vic says, thank you for your clean video, honeycomb cleaning. I think we're all guilty. Yeah, honeycombs they get neglected until you start getting those micro explosions. But I used to have a lot of people message me asking about when I'm engraving. I keep hearing what sounds like popcorn inside my enclosure, and so that's what I was like. I got to do a video because apparently, and when I first started hearing it, I didn't know what it was either. So I was like, I'm gonna make a video on that just to let people know if if your honeycomb's exploding, don't freak out. And I need to redo that and do just specifically for that problem. But I haven't had as many people ask me about it lately, so I'm hoping maybe the point got across. Whew. I'm sorry. Stuff catching up with me now. I don't turn into old man. Sleepy at 9:18. Yes. Look, Brian, come on now. Come on, Brian.
It's the TikTok filter you got going on.
Well, no, I don't got no filter. No, I mean, I'll tell you, the other night it looked like my throat was black. I had to reposition this light over here because, I had I don't know, this light was weird. It makes, and I haven't had a haircut, so I look like I'm homeless or something. Because I haven't been out of the house. I'm gonna go hopefully tomorrow and go see the lady that cuts my hair. If not, y'all gonna see me shaved headed because I can't be dealing with this much longer. Brian said it might be a camera issue. Killing me, Brian. Killing me.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
So the question is on the replays. Do chats show up on replays? And I think on both of ours we have the live chat. Now, before we had the scrolling feed and you could see it there. But so depending on where the person was, if it was in mine, it's only going to show up in the chat replay on the channel they were at. So that's one of the unfortunate side effects of this new software is we currently don't have a combined live chat of everybody. So
Yeah, because before with the other software, you could be like one of you guys could be on Steve's YouTube, the other one could be on my Facebook, and you could comment. And if you were watching the screen itself, you could see your comment on the screen from each other. So you could actually have a conversation in the screen. Now, the downside to that is it was kind of small. They were kind of tiny. And it also pushed our images to make them a lot smaller. So doing it this way, I have had a lot of people say, oh, wow, it looks like you're doing it in 4K now and stuff like that. I don't think that's it. I think it's the fact that we're actually using more of the screen now. We're not like condensed into this like 3/4 of the screen. So there's benefits to it, but it still takes some getting used to. But so far, I think the general overall interaction with the software is an improvement, but I would like for them to give us the option of being able to weave all the comments together.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all done got it. Look, y'all done got her fired up.
Whoa.
Mm-mm-mm.
Well,
yeah, I've keeping Brandy busy. She is once again going to get Employee of the Month this month. Which now she did say she was going to possibly give it to Billy for coming and sitting with me the day after surgery while I was still taking the narcotic medications. So we don't know yet.
well,
I don't know why I am yawning. Let me go get a bottle of water. Maybe my throat's.
Vic's asking, would the Atomstack Hurricane be overkill for cutting dollar board foam? Well, it would be then one of more inexpensive ways to do it, depending on the size of what you need. Because you can't cut that stuff with a diode. You need a CO2 to get through that white foam, and it does work well. I've actually used it to cut Depron and model airplane foam and dollar board foam. It cuts pretty well, depending on what you get. Sometimes it's got that kind of more paper edges to it, the surfaces, and so you actually get kind of a concave cut to the foam in between the paper, but it definitely will do it well, and probably one of the least expensive ways to be able to do that. So, but
My water's cold.
I see that.
Honeycomb blade.
Careful, you're swinging that knife at all of us.
I had to get the ice out. See? I didn't want to put the ice over here because I've got two separate trashes. I've got the won't burn and will burn. So, yeah.
I need to borrow your soundboard.
Yeah. And I got to get a video with it. I did a little short the other day playing around with these, but I got to get a video with them. That's pretty awesome. And then this one I tested to get my power settings. Then I went back and just basically cleaned it. This is going to be my unboxing knife now. Because I really trashed the handle trying to come up with settings on the handle. I melted it in places. But I got the settings. I got them put into my Lightburn library now, so I should be good.
Belly Goat, he got old. Well, older.
Hey, I'm still a spring chicken.
Spring chicken that made it through many a winter.
Yeah. Oh, it's a leg starting to hurt though. Well, it's almost 2.5 hours. Y'all are keeping us late, guys.
Yeah, got a little overtime in tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe that $6 will be $6.
Well, I mean, there was still a whole bunch of people here, and I hate to leave when there's, it's like leaving a party before everybody. You know what I mean? There's still people having fun. You don't want to be like the first one to leave the party. You don't wait till you start seeing everybody else leave. But yeah, we do appreciate everybody stopping by, guys. Hang on. Bees are doing fine. I got one hive that I'm a little concerned about their numbers. But I think the reason their numbers have kind of dwindled is because they're honey locked, basically, because I didn't pull no honey out of that hive. So I think that because they've got so much honey in there, their numbers have just shrunk a little. As soon as I can get to where I can get on my feet, my plan is to go out there, and I'm doing this on the other channel over on the Claykleys. So if you haven't been to that one, look in the description of the video. On this one, I think I put it in there. Hang on, let me make sure. I'll just get another link. But I'll be putting this on my family channel that I've got now because I'm trying to divide the two. So, but what I plan on doing is going into those hives, checking them, making sure the bees have enough honey to last them through the winter, and B, have enough bees to last through the winter. And if they don't, I'm going to have to like pull some and, basically take some manpower from this one and swap it for some resources from that one and all that good stuff. I'm hoping I don't have to do that. I don't like encouraging, and this is just me being mean, I guess. I don't like encouraging the survival of weak hives. Like if the queen can't lay and can't produce bees that are capable of making these decisions and doing good things, I don't like perpetuating that bloodline. But if it's a little bit of assistance needed, I'm okay with that. But we'll see how that goes. But I plan on doing an inspection and determining what I got to do on that. And I got some friends of mine that do bees. I'll get them to come over maybe and help me with that because they're a little more knowledgeable about whether it's worth it or whether it's going to do more damage to the other hive to steal from it to give to this one. Because you don't want to destroy a strong hive trying to save one that's doomed anyway. So sometimes you have to make the tough decisions. Sherry said thanks. Both of them need the employee of the month. Mark said, I'm not old because if I was, I'd be wanting to be the first one to lead the party. So I guess I'm not old. But anyway, guys, click all the links, check everything out. I hope y'all are enjoying the software, and I'm going to let Steve basically sign us out and let y'all know. But just a reminder, we're going to start giving away more stuff. Free. What is that commercial? So, but what we're doing, guys, like I said, we talk about it all the time, and you guys don't miss the conversation. Y'all miss the conversations that we have between ourselves when we're trying to determine which direction to take the lives and how to keep the lives. One, we try to keep the lives so that if your kids or your grandkids are sitting next to you, hanging out with you, they can watch with you and you not worry about having to explain something after the live's over with. I watch other lives and I hear things, and sometimes there's some dark humor. We may have a little teenage humor sometimes, but sometimes there's some jokes made and stuff like that may or may not be appropriate. And we try to keep a clean environment. We try to at least be entertaining, informative, helpful in some shape, form, or fashion. If nothing else, if we could just put a smile on your face, we'll take that.
Yeah.
So that's the whole purpose of the live. If you have laser questions, ask them. If you have CNC questions, ask them. Business, whatever. How to use crutches. I mean, we're becoming more and more adept at answering questions. What to do if you damage your thumb? Steve's got you covered on that one. But we try to provide an environment that you can come, hang out, have a good time, not be judged, picked on, embarrassed, or anything like that. So I hope that it stays that way. We plan to keep it that way, but we do also plan to expand on, being able to give you guys things and use the tiny little bit of influence that we have with these companies to try to get some cool stuff for you guys and rehome it to help spread the love throughout the entire laser engraving community. So go out, recruit some folks, tell them to come hang out with us on Sunday nights and try it out. The more the merrier, the more people show up. Maybe we'll make $12 next month instead of $6. So, and
Yeah,
Steve, I'll let you put your little icing on the cake there.
So thanks everyone for hanging out tonight. Glad the software is working well. We'll be having more fun with it. Just like mentioned earlier, I'm going to be up at the Minnesota Woodworking Expo next Saturday, Minnesota State Fairgrounds. I will post something out on my Facebook page about that, and probably a post in my YouTube community area just to remind people that might not have been here and whatnot. But we'll try to put get a little bit of a meetup going on there. In about 4 weeks or so, we're going to have our 100 episode live giveaway, live stream with giveaways. And I promise you there is going to be at least one pretty cool item in there. We're going to see whether we focus on that and put more on our Christmas one or whatnot, but you will definitely want to be here for that. So try to put that on your calendars to be back here on I believe it's November the 3rd. We'll have a pretty nice giveaway that night. And otherwise, always appreciate the interaction on our other videos. Comments and likes are very helpful in making sure that it's worth our time to put the videos out there. So appreciate all that. And otherwise, we will sign off half an hour late tonight.
Yeah, it was fun though. Everybody was having a good time.
Yeah.
Life is your fault. It's 7:00. But you can always catch the replay if you want. It's probably not as much fun when you can't like drop something in the comments. But if you're just, hey, this is the way I look at it. It's kind of like I watch a lot of videos when I'm in the shop working. I'll just listen and watch through my Bluetooth or whatever. It's not going to hurt my feelings if you catch a replay and you just want to listen in, because we do occasionally give you some entertaining little tidbits of information and some useful information. So that's the goal. We do appreciate it when people are able to attend and be in here live. It makes it, like I said, it makes it more and more involved. It's not just me and Steve sitting here talking about, our ailments necessarily, at least not just to ourselves. We're talking to you guys.
Yeah. Ailments or the elements.
But 7 p.m. Central, if you subscribe to me and or Steve or both, you're not going to miss the live, because we both post it, blast it out, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, like it's everywhere. So just be sure to hit the subscribe buttons and you'll get notified. But it's every Sunday. And like I said, we're coming up on the 100th episode, and we plan on making that a big thing. I love how Dave gets mentioned on other channels, then pops in the chat. Yeah, well, when I'm working in the shop, a lot of times I do have a few lives like Dave Gatton's. I listened to theirs. Was it yesterday? I listened to theirs. Yes. And then I'll listen to 2 or 3 different people. Rich over at Louisiana Hobby Guy. I listen to a bunch of them. A lot of times I don't get into comments and say a whole lot unless it's a question that I feel like maybe they need some help answering or don't see or something like that. But yeah, it's all one big community, guys. The way I look at it. There's no such thing as competition. It's teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? All right. Well, you want to see if that button works, Steve?
All right. Well, thanks everyone, and we will see you next week.